got a sharp knife, you can cut that.
Just you haven't seen me do this before, have you? Like, if you're going to be a smart ass, you can fuck off now. We better cut that one. Okay. So thank you for coming to see me in Vegas. It's very kind of you. This is my second home now. So what I'm just going to try and show you and talk to you about is just showing you 3 sharpening products that I've developed over the years and that Jim has been using over the years. And the idea is to make life a lot easier for you guys when you're doing your wood turning, because if you're going to the grinder every 10 minutes, the worst thing is you're going through too much of your tooling. And if you've got the ability to put a really quick edge on there and just keep something in your smock, it makes life a lot easier. And apart from that, the keener the edge you get, the less sanding you have to do. Right, so the kit that we've actually devised, which is marketed through Jimmy's Facebook page and his website, is the Jimmy Clewes signature sharpening set, which is this, which comprises of a double-sided machinist's file, which is 600 grit and 300 grit, a mini taper diamond file, which is really to have handy on you all the time. You can use that as the handle, which obviously is a great shape to use as well, and also a double-sided credit card stone, which is 180 grit and 300 grit, because the idea is that you need this sort of coarse sharp edge, as I call it, rather than an exceptionally sharp edge like the carving tools. All of these, apart from Jimmy's used them for a long, long time, are designed with quality and precision in mind. This is not the cheap route of product. I try and make these as best that we can. Just to give you an idea of that, there's a lot of sort of credit card things out on there on the market. You'll find a lot of them are single-sided, a lot of them are varying quality. This is a blank, an example of one that's on the market. Now, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, you guys can see this as well, but if you just look for a start at the difference on the thickness, I'm going around there so these guys can see it now, Jimmy. Thanks. Now the whole thing is that if you are using one of these, to me the most important thing is the flatter that is, and the more precise it is, the better. And these sort of things are just too flexible as far as I'm concerned. That's why, as far as those are concerned, we do that and get rid of them. So, just to show you very quickly what some of these things will do. One of the things when you're working with diamond, the most important thing is you do not apply pressure. You simply let the diamond do the work. It's the weight of the tool only. Okay? 2 or 3 strokes will put an edge on. You use the lapping fluid. You do not use water-based products, WD-40 or anything like this. This was designed over 35 years in engineering to be used on diamond abrasives. It keeps them clean, prevents any rusting problems, and it assists the cut. It really is good stuff. It's not cheap, but a bottle like that should last you about 12 months. Just to give you an idea, this is, I'm not using new products, I'm using these which are out of my demo kit, so they're quite old, but if you'd just like to feel that,
yep,
it feels pretty fine, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
What grit?
That's a 600 grit. Now if I put a little bit of fluid on there, all I want to really just prove to you now is the power of cut that is involved on these sort of things. This is a piece of carbide.
Yep.
You know, you can see what that's doing. So we're not using any pressure when we use these. So, 180 grit credit card, 300 grit. The 180 grit is brilliant. It's just like having your own mobile grinder in your back pocket. But for the majority of occasions, you'll probably be using the 300 grit, which works very, very quickly. If you want to do something like a gouge, my technique is that if you just come in there and bounce on that shoulder and bring that up until you can feel that you're on both. Okay? You've seen this before, so you're okay. And I'm coming around this way now, Jim. So I'm coming up here, and all I do is then just increase that by about 1 degree, and in a light circular motion. Let's put some fluid on first. all I'm literally doing is this motion. And as I do that, I just slightly turn that gouge slowly, and you put the edge back on there. It is that quick, but doing that sort of motion to me is a lot more efficient than doing this sort of thing, which you're almost putting an inconsistent cut on the way around there.
Yeah.
If you're using some sort of gouge or a flute and you decide that you want to remove that burr, then obviously that is where this one comes into its own, because that will fit in. Just make sure that you've got that totally flat in there, and all you literally have to do is just wipe that around there and that will remove the burr.
Okay.
So that's why the combination of these shapes is really good for that. So even coming down to something like your scrapers, skew, that's me scraper.
That's correct, James.
Jet lag. So coming back down to my scraper skew, as you can see from there, if I'm just coming in from here, it's fairly easy to find when you're on that edge.
Yeah.
And again, I would probably use the 600 grit on that side, and just coming in here, and again,